Hello, it's Natalie, and I'm sitting here in the same spot that AI Natalie was sitting in, speaking to you in my last email to you with the HeyGen tool. And I'm not AI Natalie. I'm real Natalie. And you can tell by my facial expressions and my hand gestures. So it's great to be here with you. And for today, I wanted to not tell you about my probably favorite AI tool, and also share with you a prompt, or a very complex prompt made up of several smaller prompts that will help me to get everything ready that needs to be ready for me to take a sabbatical for the summer. I'm going and doing a Taoist training with my partner that we've been wanting to do for a little while, and being away and out of the country requires a little bit of prep, and thankfully AI makes that easier than ever before. So let's dive in and take a look. So first of all, Gemini is one of my favorite tools. I get far better results with it than with ChatGPT. I have for a really long time, and I test multiple platforms. So I've tested ChatGPT extensively over the last, especially year and a half. And Gemini at this point just gets way better outputs for me and gets my voice a lot better as well. It also has a lot more integration. So this is what I mostly use. I do a lot of conversation with AI. And this is really, I think, my secret, one of my biggest secrets to how I get really good quality outputs with AI. I'm constantly in conversation with it, and there is memory. So when I'm having these conversations, it is remembering the things that are important to me and the way that I'm speaking. And you can even use the microphone feature here. So if I'm going for a walk, I will turn on the microphone and I'll have a conversation with Gemini. And that is a great way for it to get to know me better. And then we build this beautiful relationship. And when it comes time to actually creating things for me, it does a very, very good job because it knows me well at this point. So you'll see me include a lot of conversational pieces when I'm doing my prompting as well, which you can see here. So I'm giving it a little update on this training that I'm going to do and going offline for the month. Also sharing with it that it feels a lot easier to do that, to take that time off because of Gemini helping me. And I often express my appreciation and gratitude. AI is in its infancy. The inputs, the way that we're speaking to it right now, it matters. It matters because we are teaching it with every input, with every prompt. And I want it to know how much I appreciate it. Also, when there are things like little biases that I see, I can check those and we can have that conversation. And these are ways that we can support the more ethical development of AI. And it might seem really, really small, but all of these small things actually help. So anyway, let's get back to the prompt. So as I prepare to be away for a month, there are some important things to take care of before I go. That's what I want your help with today. Act as my personal assistant. And these act as statements are really important, and we can make them really, really specific too. For example, I could update this to So we can add things like that. Act as an award-winning, or act as a particular profession with a track record of, and you can actually list expertise. And I wanted to help me create a plan and a checklist of things that I need to do before I go out of the country for a little while. So some of the things I need are a checklist of what needs to be done around the house. There are a few things that I know, but I'm sure that there are things that I'm forgetting about as well. And I've lived in apartments and condos until more recently. And now I live in a house, and I find that there are always so many more things to do in the house than in a condo, especially when I'm getting ready to go away. A packing checklist I like to have and would like some support with. My email autoresponder that tells people I'm offline for the month, so I can set that up. So many little things, right, that we can have AI help us with now. And this one I'm excited about, a suggested 10-day itinerary, because I'm going to be in Japan and I'm going to do a little train trip there. And I've had Gemini create some really incredible travel itineraries for me, and I'm stating how I want to travel and giving that context. So I want to see places with cultural, historical, and spiritual significance. One of the things I want to do is go to an onsen, which is a Japanese bathhouse, and hydrotherapy. And I also want information about the train stations that I need to be at to catch certain trains, also recommended hotels and food. I list my dietary preferences here as well so that it can suggest some places for me. And this part, let me know if you have any questions for me so that you can best support me in getting ready for this sabbatical. And I will often include that in my prompts, like make sure you let me know if something's not clear, you want to ask me a question. And because embodiment is the ground of everything that I do, take a deep breath before you work on this task and take your time. There is no rush. And I have found that I get better outputs when I include this piece, this embodiment piece, this mindfulness piece. Like, you don't have to rush. You can create very, very slowly for me. And when I tell it to do that, I I often get better results. And again, thank you. Always appreciation. So let's see what we get, and we can work with it from there. All right, so we've got a house, checklist, things I don't think about, like unplugging. Wouldn't do that. Cool. And I might ask for more information on this one or to expand on it. It's often helpful when you're creating multiple things. So I wanted to see how it would be if I asked for all the things at once. But the way that I could probably improve the results of this is to ask it to create each checklist and each element that I'm wanting one at a time. So when I'm creating something like an email sequence, same thing. If I want like 5 emails and I want them to all flow and have a through line, I ask for an outline first, and then I ask for drafts of each email separately instead of it creating everything at the same time. So I have a feeling that would improve this particular checklist. Packing checklist. Yeah, the things like the adapter, I haven't packed that yet. So these are good things that I did not have on my list. Email autoresponder. This is pretty good. I probably won't change this much and just keep it simple. And now let's look at this itinerary. I've actually spent quite a bit of time in Japan, so I'm looking at this and it is looking really good, actually. I love having the train stations included in here, and I'll definitely want this to be expanded on as well. So let me work on that expansion. All right, and we're back. I just didn't want you to have to listen to me typing. So I've asked for more detailed checklists and a more detailed itinerary, and also put in, let's go through these one at a time, because I know that that will get us better outputs. And that's my suggestion for you as well. Okay, here we go. Actually, one time we did not bring our spare keys and we left the house through the garage, and that ended up being a whole situation when we came back. So the spare key, very, very important. I've learned. Refrigerator. Another thing that I often forget about is emptying the refrigerator. So this more detailed list is a lot more helpful for me. I love this. Run an empty cycle to clean the washing machine. Amazing. Haven't done that in a little while either. Yeah, so see, this is so much better when I ask for more detail, and also when I ask it to go through one step at a time. All right, so again, just a lot more detail here. Yes, 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 especially things like a little first aid kit, bug spray. Yeah, that is super helpful. Okay, I was pretty happy with the email autoresponder, so next we'll refine the itinerary. Okay, and I am back with this final prompt for the itinerary, and I've switched it up. So instead of acting as my personal assistant, I've now put in act as a world-renowned travel guide and blogger. I have a feeling that that will shift the itinerary. And then I want a more detailed day-to-day schedule with more hotel and food recommendations, must-see attractions, also some hikes and time in nature, and as much detail about the trains as possible. So let's see what we get now. Google Maps integration. Another thing that I love about using Gemini is just all the integration of the full Google product suite. A lot more detail here. Okay, we've got some hotel and food recommendations. You could also put in budgets as well, and I'll do a little test for you with that. Okay, so this is super helpful too. Again, I just love the integrations here. So there are the transit directions between places. So now this will open up for me in Google Maps. And because I set Loom to only record in this tab, you can't see the other tab that it opens with the more detailed directions, which is amazing. It includes the exact train stations, the train schedules, and that is going to be a huge, huge help to me. So I'm really, really excited about what's been created in this more detailed itinerary. And now I can ask for some suggestions based on my budget as well. All right, so I've asked for more mid-range budget hotels, less than $300 a night, and now I get hotel recommendations in that range, which is awesome. You can also set a budget way higher. You can also set a budget that is a lower budget, like if you wanted to stay under $100 a night, or you wanted to stay in hostels and it was a backpacking trip, you can set those parameters as well. And this has just saved me so much time. As someone who's traveled to over 100 countries, I've done so much travel research and put together so many itineraries, and they usually take me days and days of research and planning. So this whole conversation with Gemini has been a huge help for me as I'm getting ready for this sabbatical. And at the same time, I hope it's been fun for you and has served you to get to come behind the scenes in my process and prompting.